As you may be able to tell already from the title, this video is going to be talking about sexual assault / harassment, so viewer discretion is advised. Hi, how are you? Welcome back. So this month is National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and I wanted to tell my story. And before I really sat down to make this video a couple of weeks ago, I was trying to figure out if this experience was sexual assault or sexual harassment, what really was the difference between the two. And I was talking to Twitter, I was talking to my friends, and talking on Facebook asking, is my experience sexual assault or is it sexual harassment? And people were saying, yes, it counts as assault, but according to the law, different state laws might consider them different things, your experience might be this or that. So it's just because of what the month is, I'm just going to say sexual assault. It's just easier, and it's easier for me to say. So, okay. So, I was 15 when this happened. I was a sophomore in high school. And in high school, I took the bus a lot. There were times that I was driven to school. So part of me is also wondering, man, why wasn't I, taken to school in a car instead when this happened? But yeah, so it was about 7:15, 7:30 in the morning, obviously. And I go to the bus stop. I, for the most part, was the only person at my particular stop. Occasionally there would be somebody else there, but for the most part it was me. There was one other person on the other side of the neighborhood, the entrance over there, and I think she was standing there on that day. So I'm standing right here, and the bus would typically come from behind, and it would pick up, let's call her Tiffany. She was standing way over there, they pick her up, and then normally after she gets picked up, they turn directly right and come to me first, and then go down to the bottom of this hill where there's another bus stop. Every single time it has always happened. There has never ever been a moment when they went the opposite direction until that day. I was looking at the bus and I saw that they just kept going straight and around, and I was very confused. I was like, did she not see me standing here, but even if somebody's not standing there, they usually take the same route, and I don't know why it was so different this time. But I decided to wait. I wasn't gonna fret, and I see this car pull in, and they go past me, and then they kind of stop, and I'm getting a little weirded out, but I'm trying not to freak out about it because I was living in a relatively safe area, safe town, safe neighborhood even. And so I'm kind of walking around, and this car is still there. And I look over and I notice that his window is down. Yes, it's a man inside the car. And he's looking at me, and he just seems like a normal dude, right? I want to say he was maybe in his middle, late 20s, maybe early 30s. It's been a long time. And he's talking to me. Now, I did have better hearing back then, in case you are new here. Hi, I'm deaf. But when I was 15, I did have significantly better hearing than I do now, but I still had a lot of hearing loss, and it was on my right side, which is my, nearly completely deaf ear. And he was talking to me, and, he's far away-ish. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what this guy is saying, and he's talking to me, so what do? I moved a little bit closer, just a couple of steps. I was still probably, halfway, and he's talking again, still understand him. I wonder if maybe he was either A, talking quietly on purpose just because, or I was just that deaf. But yeah, so just every time he talks, I don't know what he's saying, and I made the mistake of completely walking over to his car just outside his door, and I still don't know what he's saying, and I was like, sorry, what? And I looked down, and this guy has no pants on. He has a shirt on, but he doesn't have any pants on, or maybe they were completely down at his ankles, and he has his hand on his private area, and he's masturbating. And I freaked out, I jumped back and my brain was just, I had no idea what to do because nobody was outside. My bus stop was at a driveway, somebody else's driveway. Sometimes they're outside, but literally nobody was outside. Tiffany got picked up. She wasn't going to be able to see. And so I stepped back and I'm kind of stunned, frozen for a little bit. I think I'm going to start running, but I wonder, am I going to be able to make it back to my house because the door is locked, deaf mother in the house, and my dad is at work. So what's going to happen? But just right on time, as I step back and I take a second to be frozen, my bus turns and is coming up to me. They came from the other side of the neighborhood, changed their route for whatever reason, but I couldn't get annoyed with that anymore because they were finally here. Somebody was going to see what was going on. And what happened was, as that bus started making its turn and coming up, the car sped off. He got spooked and I was still just stunned. I wasn't really sure what to do. Of course, the bus driver didn't see exactly what was going on. To her, from her perspective, it just would have like there was a car there. Maybe I actually would have known this person and he was just, walking off. Could have been my parent, from the looks of it, from her perspective. She gets to my stop, I get on the bus, and I just kind of sit there and wait until I get to school. I didn't tell my bus driver, I don't know why. But first period started, I had theater, and I think it was about 30 minutes or so, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I mean, it was a traumatic experience, right? Obviously. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and so I went up to my teacher and I told her what happened, and she got freaked out, obviously, and told me to go to the school officer. I went to him, I told him what happened, and he pulled up the registered sex offender list. He seemed like a average sized guy. He had a little bit of weight to him, and I think he was a redhead, and he had kind of just short hair. He asked me what kind of car he was driving, and I still don't know my cars. I didn't know my cars back then. And he was asking me the color, and I couldn't really figure out what the color was. In some ways it looked white, and in some ways it looked silver. And then, when he was driving off, the sun made it so that his car was also looking a little bit gold. And, I'm 15 years old, this has never happened to me before, so I wasn't really thinking, let me get his license plate. I was just thinking, holy crap, what the hell happened? That unfortunately was it. I think the officer said that he was gonna look into it, a little bit more, but I never got any word after that. So that was definitely a traumatic experience for me, things that I still think about every once in a while. I still get spooked when I see cars randomly stop, I don't like it. As a woman, it's frightening, and as a deaf woman, it's frightening. I always wonder what would have happened if I didn't back away, and more importantly, what would have happened if the bus didn't show up, if the bus took another, 5 seconds maybe? What could have happened? So yeah, that's my story. That's something that happened. Again, I was kind of like on the fence what to call this kind of experience, but everybody was like, it's one of these things at least, you can definitely consider it sexual assault because it's something that happened to you, it was about you, Okay. I don't have much else to say about that, but thank you for listening to my story if you made it this far. I will have a translate link down below if you would like to translate this video. That always helps a lot. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.